defensive end Barney Chavis is going to start out our Broncos defense. Was not nominated to any Pro Bowl or anything, did not win a Super Bowl or anything, but was a part of the late 70s, or the entire majority of the 70s and early 80s, and statistically was recorded for 23 sacks from 1982 all the way to 1985. So you can see his productivity was there. So, well, from that it just shows me that I'm sure he had multiple sacks, multiple years where he had a lot of those 7.5 type sack years. So, and he played about 12 years. So, I think I could definitely see him possibly having 80 to 100 sacks in his career. I'm not too sure. He hasn't been really known. He hasn't really been a face of anyone to be like, whoa, he was one of the most, unbelievable players in the NFL history, his position. But what I'm noticing is, well, he's had a lot of value to the Denver Broncos organization. So not putting him on here is almost like a shame. And that what I've gotten is that is pretty much, this is the most viable and valuable. And overall, Denver has had like Derek Wolfe and all those guys. They've had some fantastic overall defensive ends that are alright, but they've never had a star, a superstar, a Hall of Fame defensive end, honestly. So, that's debatable there. But I don't think so. I could definitely see that they've had better overall linebackers throughout the years than defensive ends. Defensive tackle, nose tackle, Rubin Carter. Again, no Pro Bowls for this guy neither. And actually, happy birthday to him. He is 65 years old today. He's still alive. So, happy birthday to him. Since it is December 12th here in Washington, 1 in the morning. Anyway, Rubin Carter played in the mid 70s to late 80s, and well, he was a big part of them. He stayed in Denver his entire career. His approximate overall value was, well, it was pretty big, and he is one of those nose tackles that will clog the lane. And from what he did some pretty good things, which was fumble recoveries, and he got some sacks in there, and played 100 plus games in his career. So overall, yes, he does deserve the gratitude, and honestly, in my honest opinion, he deserves that recognition of being one of the best for the franchise. Not all time, but the franchise, yes. So overall, I do enjoy him. I think he's going to be fantastic. And yeah, that's about it. Rubin Carter, though. And the other defensive end, since we are doing a 3-4, is going to be Trevor Price, the guy that played for Denver for about 9 years. A guy that played in Baltimore, New York, as a part of the Jets as well, but most known as a Denver Bronco, as he played, 9 years again. It's a guy that racked up over 300 tackles, 64 career sacks as a Denver Bronco, 4 fumble recoveries, 1 fumble, 9 forced fumbles, 9 pass deflections, and he even had 2 interceptions. So it's a guy that played over 100 games. Very reliable guy. He's going to get those double-digit sacks. He's going to get to the QB. And, again, he is part of that Super Bowl championship team. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, and 2-time Super Bowl champion, like I said. So, overall, I expect Trevor Price to be pretty valuable and an asset to this defensive line. And I can't wait to see what happens in terms of, well, how they run things. Now on the left, outside linebacker, you're going to have Simon Fletcher. Not at all a Pro Bowler, never been nominated for an All-Pro, but this is a guy that was, in my opinion, underrated overall. This is a guy that at one point had like 16 sacks in a year and didn't even get a nod at the age of 30. So this is a guy that's very valuable. About 828 career tackles, 97.5 career sacks, 10 fumble recoveries, 20 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. For a guy that played his entire career in Denver, like I said, very overlooked. A guy that can be a D-end, but, better at that linebacker position. Yeah, I expect him to be the same, like he always is, productive and carrying a pretty good linebacking core that they got right now for this franchise. So I do believe that Simon Fletcher will be successful though. Now, one of the inside linebackers is going to be Karl Mecklenburg. He is up. He is up for nomination in terms of the Hall of Fame. This is a guy that's a 6-time Pro Bowler and a 3-time All-Pro. This is a guy that's racked up over 1,000 plus tackles, 79 sacks, 14 fumble recoveries, 16 forced fumbles, and 5 interceptions. He played for 180 games. This is a guy that was fantastic at the inside linebacker position. One of those most underrated guys, in my opinion, in linebacker history in the NFL. So I think he will definitely make a big impact with Simon Fletcher out there. So I think those two guys, very overlooked, very underrated. So I expect some good football from them. All right, the other spot, the other inside linebacker is going to be Randy Gradishar. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's a 2-time All-Pro. And, well, he was very impactful for exactly this, for being what he is, which is being an inside linebacker, being that guy. And he played in 145 games in the 70s and 80s. Again, definitely was another overlooked guy, but actually was pretty good for the most part. Don't really have much of a tally in terms of statistics. The only thing that's recorded is he's played in 145 games. He had 20 interceptions for 3 of them touchdowns, 2 fumbles, 13 fumble recoveries, 4 touchdowns, and even 4.5 sacks in the statistics that they recorded. Again, it just shows that he was reliable, and I think he's going to make a pretty good inside linebacker with Karl Mecklenburg. Now, it could be right, it could be left. It's going to be Von Miller. He is, by far, as of right now, he's the best linebacker for the Denver Broncos history, period. Like, that beats out guys like, Romanowski and Mecklenburg. And, honestly, I really do believe he is the best linebacker ever for Denver Broncos. His entire, just everything he's done overall, he's already going to get another double-digit sack year. He's still in the middle of a year, of course, in the middle of a season. He's got 10 sacks for now, 53 tackles, or 51 tackles. He's played in 13 games, But this is a guy that's tallied over 400 tackles, 83.5 sacks currently, 5 fumble recoveries for a touchdown, 29 forced fumbles, 15 pass deflections, 1 interception for a touchdown. And he started in 101 games, and he's played in 101 games. So this is a guy that's, for the most part, has been pretty reliable guy. And it's a guy that can dominate. It's a guy that can go off the edge, and you won't know what hit you, honestly. It's a guy that's a Super Bowl MVP. This is a guy that's an all-rookie team. He was a part of the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. And like I said, he's won 5-time Pro Bowl, 3-time All-Pro, and a Super Bowl champion. So, yeah, you don't want this guy coming off the edge of you, though. He's gonna murder you, honestly. His entire goal is just, try to get a strip, try to get something, try to get a turnover as much as possible. But if that doesn't work, it's whatever. I'll just sack this guy and do some crazy dances. The secondary, you got corner Lewis Wright, 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. A guy that's had 26 career interceptions for a touchdown, 2 sacks, 11 fumble recoveries, and 3 fumbles. And overall, he's played in 166 games. So, veteran leadership, along with being in Denver, that organization, for years. He's a part of that second team, all 1970s team. He was also a part of the 75 NFL rookie team. Again, this is good. It's good to have some leaders in there, and I think Lewis Wright will fit pretty well. Now, pairing up with Wright, you're going to have Champ Bailey. I mean, not having Champ Bailey on this list, in terms of not having him as a Bronco, that's upsetting. That'd be very upsetting if I didn't put Champ Bailey. I feel like I would be very mad at myself if I left out Champ Bailey out there. He's a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Yes, he is for sure future Hall of Famer. 12-time Pro Bowler and a 3-time All-Pro. It's unfortunate he didn't win a Super Bowl. But what he did get was play 215 games, get 52 career interceptions for 4 touchdowns, get 174 pass deflections, 7 forced fumbles, 4 fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries, 3 sacks, and over 900 tackles. So, again, leadership, again, is a good corner, can shut down guys. And, he's been on that first team All-2000s team. He's been in an NFL All-Rookie team. And other than that, he's just a Hall of Fame corner. He's going to get it done, and he's going to shut down guys when he has to. So, I do believe that this nickname that they had in 2015, the no-fly zone, I just would have loved to see Champ Bailey on that. I just would have loved to see him win a ring, but can't happen. Won't happen, unfortunately, but he's going to be part of this all-time team. All right, now free safety Steve Atwater. He's up for nomination for the Hall of Fame, which is fantastic because I think he totally deserves it. He was just a fantastic safety overall. 8-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, and a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Definitely a very big leader in terms of the defense. That Denver Broncos defense wouldn't have been the same if Steve Atwater was not there in 97, 98. Would I see them win? I could have seen them win because their offense was good enough. But Steve Atwater, though, without him, that would have been a shame. This is a guy that played 167 games. This is a guy that was reliable for the most part. He never had a season where he didn't play at least 10-plus games. So that shows something. That shows that, well, either he's conditioned right or he's just, he's got that fighter mentality. It's fantastic. But anyway, it's a guy that's racked up over 1,000 tackles, 5 sacks, 8 fumble recoveries, 1 fumble, 6 forced fumbles, about 24 interceptions, and a touchdown for that matter. So this is a guy that's had his fair share. He's done his part. And again, leadership with him, along with having Champ Bailey out there and Lewis Wright, it's a good secondary. I really do like it. All right, so now it's going to be a strong safety, and it's going to be Bill Thompson. Now, Bill Thompson, 3-time Pro Bowler and a 1-time All-Pro. Guy that was pretty killer actually at that strong safety position. Guy that recorded 4 interceptions, 3 of them for touchdowns, 14 fumbles, 21 forced fumble recoveries, for 4 touchdowns. So that's very, very valuable. So, honestly, yeah, I believe Bill Thompson, with his contribution, with his ability to create havoc with Atwater, Bailey, and Wright. I like the secondary. I really do. I think this secondary is literally under the radar. All right, kicker. It's going to be Jason Elam. If any of you are surprised by that pick, 1, I don't know why. 2, it's just the most logical one. He's won 2 Super Bowls with them. He's been a 3-time Pro Bowler with them. And he's the most accurate guy. He's kicked the most field goals for them. It's a guy that's been in Denver for 15 years. And this is a guy that made 436 field goals. Should be in the Hall of Fame. I really hope he is. He's made 39 50-plus yard field goals and 111 40 to 49-yard field goals. So that's had an 80.7 field goal percentage and a 99.4 extra point percentage. This is a man that will be reliable. When you need him, he will step up to the plate and he'll drill those. In my honest opinion, I think it will all be fantastic, and it's a great start to the special teams. Punter, it's gonna be Tom Rooney. Punter is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Another part of that 97-98 squad. So a guy that's had about almost 30,000 punt yards, 600-plus punts, longest of 76, and got blocked 7 times in 10 years. Isn't that much, but 7 blocks, that's terrible. For a punter, what I've seen, there's not many guys that get blocked that many times. But an average of 43.9, really the best punter out there, the best punter I saw in their history. I believe the punter will be great. Now the return man is going to be Devin ONeal, 2-time Pro Bowler and a 1-time All-Pro. a guy that got drafted in 2000, and from then on out, played until 2008. He split his career pretty much. 4 years in Cincy, 4 years in Denver, and that 1 year in New England. Now, when he was a part of Denver, he actually wasn't bad. He was actually a corner who had about 15 interceptions. So you can see his ability to play defense is not terrible. Now in Denver, he was able to he had like 128 punt yard returns for 1,325 yards for 2 punt return touchdowns. He also had the ability of having 55 kick returns for 1,245 yards and 1 touchdown. And he was reliable. He was a reliable guy out there. He's definitely the best option they got, and I think he'll do some good things returning wise. And if they even wanted to put an extra guy out there on defense, there's your man. So, all right, now everyone needs a coach. Of course, it's gonna be Mike Shanahan. It's very easy. He's the one that got Denver to 2 Super Bowls. Denver before then had no Super Bowls, so big reason they got a Super Bowl. Just his entire demeanor, his entire way of coaching. Of course, he's been very critiqued lately, 3 of the years, but overall, he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, so you can't say much from a guy that he's done it. You know, he's actually lived it. He's done it, and a guy that's for Denver, 14 years of coaching, 138 victories, had a 61.6 regular season winning percentage. He had 13 games that he had in the playoffs. He was 8-5 there, so he had a 61.5 winning percentage in the playoffs, and he had an average ranking of a 2, so second in the division. You know, so on top of that, like I said, back-to-back Super Bowl championships, and he was able to really just be a pretty good coach. He did the exact same thing in terms of in Washington there. You know, he did a pretty good thing until, you know, that whole RG3 and him did not get along. But there was a point where, you know, he didn't do too bad. Now, I mean, this is a guy also that employed Gary Kubiak, which was the coach of that team that won Super Bowl 50. He's recorded also, or not recorded, employed as well, Kyle Shanahan. So, recorded employed some really good coaches as of right now, and like I said, he's been able to be successful out there in terms of being the head coach of the Denver Broncos at one point. Again, heavily criticized, yes, but overall, he should be put into a much better light, because I think he'll do some good things with this entire roster, and I think this roster can go pretty far.